Good morning, acting Floridians, members of the board. You are now live and recording.
Good morning. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is called to order at 10:03. I will call the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Hall.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Please note and let the record reflect that we have an in-person quorum in the Sacramento office. Also present from our staff for today's meeting is ALRB Executive Secretary Santiago Avila Gomez, who is providing technical support. We will start today with the open session portion of the meeting, and prior to going into closed session, we will provide an opportunity for public comment on any portion of the meeting. The first agenda item is approval of the meeting minutes from August 6, 2025. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Board Member Broad moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Lightstone second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. The next agenda item is the acting chair's report. First, I'd like to provide an update on the Santa Maria office space. At our November 20th, 2024 board meeting, the board agreed to seek alternative office space. Please note, the board has secured alternative office space and has entered into a lease agreement with the EDD office located in Santa Maria. Second, I want to note that board member Broad will serve in the acting chair capacity while I am out of office from September 3rd through September 25th. I will reassume the acting chair role upon my return to the office on September 26th. Thank you, board member Broad.
You may refer to me as Mr. Acting.
And that concludes my report. The next agenda item is the executive officer's report on elections, unfair labor practice complaints, and hearings presented by Executive Officer Santiago Avila Gomez.
Thank you and good morning again. Since the board's last meeting, we've seen activity in the complaint, administrative order, and then realms, and we have 3 pending matters for the board, beginning with a complaint withdrawn that was withdrawn on August 11th, and that involves J&G Berry Farms LLC and California Giant Inc. And that case number is 2022 CE 018 SAL et al. There, the commodity, as the name the employer suggests, is berries. It was a consolidated complaint that was initially filed on March 11th of last year. It was taken off the hearing calendar in November of last year due to agreement. The general counsel's authority to withdraw complaint is solely at her discretion, and she indicated that the terms of the agreement were fulfilled. Thus, the complaint has been withdrawn. Turning to administrative orders, the board issued Tissue Grown Corporation on August 8th, 2025, and that's ALRB Admin Order 2025-09. There, the order granted the general counsel's request for subpoena enforcement, which was that was issued on August 8th. The admin orders was issued on August 8th. Finally, turning to pending matters, 3 pending matters with the board. The first being Solo Mio Inc. Their case number 2023 CE-002-VIS. There it's the general counsel's request for enforcement of a subpoena ducis tecum, which was filed on August 6th. The request for enforcement was filed on August 6th. Next, Wonderful Nurseries LLC, case number 2024 RM002. There, the board received the IHE's, the investigative hearing examiner's recommendation that the board seek judicial enforcement of a subpoena ducis tecum that was posed to Maria Esther Gutierrez. That recommendation came to the board on August 11th and was in response to the United Farm Workers filing directed at the IHE for enforcement of the subpoena. Finally, Synagro Farms Inc. involving the board's decision and 48 ALRB number 2. there, the regional director filed a bilateral formal settlement agreement for review by the board, and that was filed on August 14th. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. Any questions? Okay, the next agenda item is the litigation report presented by Chief Board Counsel Laura Hike.
Give me just a moment while I'll promote her line.
Sure thing.
The system indicated that she was speaking, but I could not hear
Oh.
her. Let me troubleshoot.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear
Yeah.
you now. Thank you.
There's a button that I didn't realize I had to push. And I do have, oh, let me see something else. There I am. Okay.
There we go.
I have a new camera on my monitor, so thanks for your patience. So just a very brief report this morning. In the consolidated matter in federal district court involving Wonderful Nurseries and Olive Hill Greenhouses and Western Growers, on August 13th, last Wednesday, the ALRB filed the answer to the consolidated complaint, and that was a motion to dismiss. And then in September, on the 22nd, that's when the hearing on the motion to dismiss is going to be held. No changes in any of the other matters. So the next thing to watch for is the hearing in mid-September. And I don't have anything else. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Laura. Any questions? Okay, the next agenda item is the General Counsel's report with Julie Montgomery.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here. I have one settlement to report out of our Salinas office, or actually I think that the settlement is out of Ventura County. And it was some Salinas staff that handled the matter. And this involved 2 unfair labor practice charges filed in 2024 against Saticoy Berry Farms, which is located in Ventura County. And one of those charges involved a worker who alleged she was being retaliated against at work after she complained about mistreatment and harassment occurring at the workplace. She claimed that the supervisors were scrutinizing her work more closely, as well as I guess other workers who had been involved in the complaint, and that they were being mocked and also were being assigned more difficult work. The ALRB investigated that charge. Workers participated in that investigation. Then the season ended, and at the beginning of the following season, the workers who had complained were not rehired, and so they filed an additional charge alleging retaliation for having participated in the ALRB process and filing a charge. And the parties reached a settlement of both charges, in which Saticoy Berry Farms paid, there were 3 workers, they paid them $17,353 for lost wages and payment in lieu of reinstatement, and also they settled for the standard noticing remedies. So congratulations to our staff for achieving those settlements. And the more recent charge was filed in, I think last fall in September. So they were able to wrap it up in less than a year, which is really nice. We also have a few outreach highlights. Next week is Labor Rights Week, so there's a lot, people are gearing up for that, a lot more is happening around the state. But just between the last board meeting and now, our staff has been out. They went to a health fair in Orosi, in Tulare County. They participated in a labor rights workshop with the labor commissioner and Proyecto Mixteco in Oxnard in Ventura County. We also have staff doing office hours in Kern County at Comité Unidad Popular Benito Juarez, a nonprofit there, and our staff was distributing materials and doing outreach at farm worker housing complexes together with EDD in Imperial County. And they also provided a training to staff of a community-based organization, ALAS, in Half Moon Bay in San Mateo County, which stands for Ayudando Latinos a Sonar. And ALAS also means wings in Spanish. So they did that training about the ALRA, ALRB, workers' rights, so on to their staff. So appreciate everyone's work throughout the regions, and that concludes my report. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Julie. Any questions? No? Okay. We do not have an administrative services report, a legislation report, nor a regulations report. Therefore, the next agenda item is the Immigration Subcommittee's finding report and recommendation. First, I want to acknowledge the importance and relevance of this issue to the work of the ALRB. The ALRB is aware that increased immigration enforcement has had a direct impact on the agricultural industry and farm workers. The ALRB has been proactive in addressing this issue. For example, the ALRB has held trainings for staff on protocol and best practices regarding immigration enforcement operations. The General Counsel's Program, which oversees work in the regional offices, has implemented multiple strategies to protect workers who engage the ALRB, including working with community-based organizations, maintaining worker confidentiality as possible, and ensuring workers are referred to the appropriate service providers. Today, our conversation will focus on the efforts of the subcommittee, which evaluated the policies and practices in the adjudicative function of the board. With that being said, I share the report and present the recommendation on behalf of Chair Hasid and myself, the members of the subcommittee. Over the past 9 months, the subcommittee examined the ALRB's practices and policies with the objective of ensuring workers could exercise their rights under our act without fear of retaliation based on immigration status, while also balancing transparency requirements. Specifically, the subcommittee evaluated the privacy interests of workers within our adjudicative system. The subcommittee's internal evaluation included a thorough review of the ALRB's statutory and regulatory scheme, analysis of state and federal law, meeting with interagency partners, and engaging community-based organizations. We also consulted the California Attorney General's guidance and model policies document for responding to immigration enforcement. The subcommittee found the ALRB's current practices and policies balance worker privacy and agency transparency requirements, and recommends the ALRB continue to adhere to its longstanding practice not to inquire about a worker's immigration status. As such, I will entertain a motion to adopt the subcommittee's report and recommendation prior to opening for discussion.
So I would move the adoption of the report and to thank the chair and the acting chair for their work on this very, very relevant subject at the moment. And you know, we need to we very much need to create conditions where farm workers feel that they can testify and participate in our process and are not intimidated in or otherwise frightened away from participating in our process. So anyway.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Board Member Broad moves and Board Member Lightstone seconds.
Can you
Now that we have,
can you have 2 double seconds on that?
absolutely. And we have Board Member Hall, that's gonna be the double second. Let the record reflect.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
So now that we have a live motion on the floor, I do invite public comment on the matter. I'll first turn to my board colleagues and thank you, Board Member Broad, for your comments. And of course, anybody, if they would like to make comment on the board, GC, et cetera. Now's the time, first right to you all.
Well, I just would second also what Board Member Broad said about you. Thank you for your work, your hard work on this issue. It's obviously, it's unfortunately become more central to life these days, but I think your work is really great, so thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Okay, so now we can move on and just open for comment to the members of the public who wish to ask a question or make a comment. If you would like to ask a question or make a comment, please use the raise hand function to indicate your interest. You will be placed in the queue to speak, and members of the public will be called on in the order received. Of course, our ALRB Executive Secretary, Santiago Avila Gomez, will be monitoring the indications to wish to make public comment. So at this time, Santiago, can you please advise us if there is anyone that has indicated they would like to make a comment on the matter?
Not by contacting us via email or telephone. I'm looking at our group of attendees. I don't see any raised hands, but invite folks to use the Zoom feature of raising your hand if you wish to make public comment at this time. No hands raised, Acting Chair.
Okay, well, seeing none raised, I just want to say thank you everyone for the discussion and participation. This was an effort that Chair Hasid led late last year, and I want to also take the moment to publicly acknowledge those folks that also assisted the subcommittee in developing their findings and moving forward their work. So just thank you very much. And with that, I will call the question, and just as a reminder, the motion on the floor is for the board to adopt the findings and recommendation of the subcommittee. I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? And so no opposition or abstention, so motion passes unanimously. The next agenda item is public comment. Members of the public who have contacted the board either by mail or phone and asked to be placed in the public comment queue will be called on in the order received. If you did not previously contact the board and wish to make public comment, you may do so by raising your hand. We ask that you also provide your name and organization if applicable. This information will become a part of the official record of today's proceedings. If you wish to speak more than once, please alert staff and have your name placed back in the queue. If you have technical difficulties when you are called, please reach out to us via email and we will come back to you. Please be advised that the board is unable to adjudicate, comment, or resolve any pending case matter. I will ask our executive secretary to go first through the queue. Santiago, do we have any members of the public that have expressed interest in making public comment?
Not at this time. Again, I'll echo your call for public comment by informing our attendees to use the raise hand feature in Zoom, and we will be able to call on you and open your line for comment. No attendees' hands have gone up.
Okay, seeing none, the board will now recess into closed session. See you soon.
I'm recording.
Good afternoon. The board has returned from closed session, and our last agenda item is announcements. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is set for Wednesday, September 3rd at 10 a.m. That is all for us today. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Board
Second.
Member Braun moves and Board Member Hall seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.